guys, welcome back to another episode of the Web3 Quick Bites podcast. The podcast where we jump to the latest beats in the decentralized world and chat with some of the brilliant minds in the industry. I'm your host, Olabisi, and today we are diving into a topic that's been creating quite a buzz in the Web3 world. Airdrops. Yeah. So, if you just had airdrops and you're picturing planes dropping supplies from the sky or helicopters dropping supplies from the sky, well, you're not entirely off base, because in the crypto world, airdrops are a bit like that. But instead of food or aid, we're talking about free tokens or NFTs. On today's episode, we'll explore how these digital giveaways have become a powerful marketing tool, but also why they are walking a tightrope over a legal minefield. So, whether you're a crypto newbie or a seasoned Web3 enthusiast, this episode will give you valuable insights into this fascinating aspect of blockchain marketing. So, grab your virtual parachute and let's dive in. Okay, guys. So, what are airdrops? I mean, we can't talk about this whole episode if we don't define what airdrops are for the benefit of those who are just hearing about this for the first time or just listening in for the first time. So, let's start with the basics. What exactly is an airdrop in the crypto world? So, let's say an airdrop is when a blockchain project distributes free tokens to the community. Yeah, it sounds almost too good to be true, right? But there is more to it than just handing out free stuff. Now, you might be thinking, free crypto, just like that? What's the catch? Well, there often isn't one, at least not directly. So, companies use airdrops for various reasons. But before we get to that, let me just walk you through how airdrop works. So, here is how it usually works. A project will announce an airdrop, and users need to complete certain tasks to qualify. I mean, if you've participated in any airdrop, the project have probably asked you to follow them on social media, join their Telegram group, or signing up on their website. So once these tasks are done, you are assigned a particular point, and on the set dates that the project has announced that they will be doing their airdrop, your free tokens are distributed to you. That's equivalent of any amount in USDT. If you still don't understand it, so let me use an analogy here. So imagine you are opening a new coffee shop. You might give out free samples on the streets to get people to try your coffee. Yeah, exactly. It might not even be a coffee shop. It might be you just opening a new business and you want people to try out you want people to try out what you're offering. It could be a pastry shop. It could be a perfume. It could be anything, but you're giving out free samples, right? So you do your marketing, you're giving out free samples to people like, yeah, this is my free sample. If you like it, you can just come on in and buy the real deal. So airdrop is like that. It's similar. But now, instead of coffee, instead of pastry, instead of tiny bottles of perfume, you're giving out tokens or NFTs. Do you get it now? Yeah. But do you know that there are different types of airdrops? Okay, so let me walk you guys through that. I mean, you might probably not know that there are 4 types of airdrops, but not to worry, I'm going to talk about it now. So we have 4 types of airdrops, like I mentioned earlier. First is the standard airdrops. These are given to existing holders of a particular cryptocurrency. So if you're an existing holder of that particular crypto or you are able to get in on the whitelist, you are entitled to the standard airdrops. So you are holding a particular amount of crypto of that particular project. So when they do their airdrops, you get their airdrops, so you get free money, right? So that's the standard airdrops. So the second on the list is bounty airdrops. So this is where users get to complete tasks like sharing social media posts to earn tokens. So bounty airdrops are similar to I think some of the tasks that TapSwap make people do. Follow their projects like Bloom, And also a couple of other projects too. So those are bounty airdrops. You have to do something, complete tasks, follow them on social media, like their YouTube video, to earn tokens. So these tokens, it accumulates and it qualifies you for their airdrops. The third one is older airdrops. So in this case, tokens are distributed to those who hold a minimum amount of a specific cryptocurrency. So if you hold 1,000 USDT worth of that particular cryptocurrency, you're eligible for airdrop. So this is called holders airdrop. It's similar to standard. I mean, yeah, they're similar, but they're not quite the same. And so the last one is exclusive airdrops. So these are given to loyal community members or early adopters. If you got in quite early, then this is the category you fall under. And so guys, remember I mentioned earlier that companies use airdrops for various reasons, right? So here are some of the top reasons. Companies or projects use airdrops to create awareness about their project, to reward early adopters or loyal community members, to decentralize token ownership, and to kickstart their ecosystem. So guys, now that we have a solid definition on what airdrops are and what they are used for, it's time to move on to using airdrops as a marketing tool, right? So, in the world of Web3, traditional marketing often falls flat. Yep. So you can't just put up a billboard or run a TV ad and expect crypto enthusiasts to come running to you. Nah, doesn't work that way. So this is where airdrops come in. And they're powerful for several reasons. I mean, I already mentioned the use cases and why companies or projects use them. But as a marketing tool, this is why airdrops are powerful. So first is instant community building. If you see some of these popular projects, you see that their communities are always growing fast. They have millions of users or hundreds of thousands of users in the Telegram, their Discord, their X account, and whatnot. Yeah, their YouTube page, they have several subscribers. So airdrops can be used as a form of community building, instant community building. Emphasis on instant, because by giving people a stake in your projects, you instantly create a community of interested parties, right? If someone offers to give you something and then all you have to do is just do a few tasks in exchange for it, automatically you are interested. It's like you have a stake in that project. So it's not like it's like you have a stake. You have a stake in that project. So basically, it's like giving out free membership cards to your exclusive club. Become an exclusive club holder. So the second reason is for viral marketing potential, right? So people love free stuff, especially in the Web3 space, and they love talking about it too. When you airdrop tokens, the recipients often spread the word, creating organic buzz. So let's take Dogs or Notcoin, for example. Those were projects that went viral for their airdrops. And so shout out to you if you were able to participate in any of these projects and you get yourself a couple of dollars. So let's move on to the third one, which is user acquisition. So in marketing, airdrops can attract new users to your platform. As a marketing tool, airdrops can attract new users to your platform. It's a way of saying, here's a free sample, come and see what we're all about. I mean, acquiring users, it's a win-win here. And so the fourth one is token distribution. For new projects, airdrops help get tokens into circulation and in the hands of potential users. Then last but not the least, as a marketing tool, airdrops can be used as data collection because some airdrops require users to complete surveys or provide information, which gives the project valuable market data that they can leverage on in the future. So let's look at, I've been talking, but it's time to give you an example. So let's take a real world example. Remember Uniswap? In 2020, that was 4 years ago, they airdropped 400 Uni tokens to each user who had ever used their platform before a specific date. So at the time, this was worth about $1,200. So what was the result of this? Massive publicity, a surge in new users, and a community of token holders invested in Uniswap's success. So shout out to Uniswap marketing team because That was massive. But guys, here is where it gets really interesting, right? Airdrops are not just a marketing tool, and they're not just a marketing tactic. They're a way of bootstrapping an entire economy, funding an entire economy. Because by distributing tokens widely, projects can kickstart their ecosystem, create liquidity, and incentivize participation. So it's like another analogy here, guys. So it's like if a new country could print money and give it to potential citizens to entice them to move there. I mean, we already have countries who are doing that. But except in this case, the country now is a digital platform and the citizens are users from all over the world, right? I mean, airdrop is not limited to a particular jurisdiction, right? Anybody can participate all over the world. Now. I can almost hear some of you thinking, this sounds too good to be true. And well, you're right to be skeptical. I mean, it's totally fine. Because while airdrops can be powerful marketing tools, they are not without their risks and challenges. Because I've been talking all about how airdrops have been the best things in sliced bread, how marketing teams can leverage your need to boost their marketing strategy and whatnot. But it's too good to be true because, I mean, it looks also perfect and all that, but it doesn't come without its own risks and challenges, which brings us to our next segment or our next topic. So, this is time where I want you guys to get your legal ropes or your wigs and ropes because we're about to go down the legal rabbit hole. We're moving to trickier territory. Because as powerful as airdrops can be for marketing, they're also walking a fine line when it comes to regulations. Yep. So what is the main issue, you ask? The main issue is, in many jurisdictions, airdrops could be considered securities offerings, yes. And if you know anything about securities law, shout out to our lawyers, you know it's complex, strict, and carries heavy penalties for non-compliance. Sounds scary. But let's look at some of the legal challenges airdrops face. So, for instance, in the United States, the Securities and Exchange Commission has scrutinized airdrops to ensure they didn't violate securities laws. So, if a project's airdrop is deemed to be an investment opportunity rather than just a giveaway, it could face legal trouble. And there's also the tax implications. In some countries, receiving an airdrop could be considered taxable income. Because imagine getting a tax bill for free tokens. Bro. Oof. Let's move on to the third one. Your KYC, know your customer, and anti-money laundering laws. Distributing tokens to anonymous users can run afoul of these regulations. And then there's the pump and dump concerns. Because some regulators worry that airdrops could be used to artificially inflate a token's value. I mean, I'll be talking too much legal terms, so another analogy here, guys. So I want you to imagine you're running a sweepstakes where people can win prizes, of course. Sounds simple, right? But actually, sweepstakes are heavily regulated to prevent fraud and ensure fairness and transparency. Well, airdrops face similar scrutiny because you're literally winning something. You're winning prizes, so airdrops also have to face the same scrutiny. So a prime example of the legal challenges is the Securities and Exchange Commission's action against Ripple. The SEC alleged that Ripple's distribution of XRP tokens, including through airdrops, it constituted an unregistered securities offering. This case basically sent shockwaves through the crypto industry amid many projects within their airdrop strategies. I know at this point you're asking yourself, what is the Web3 project to do? What am I going to do? What are we supposed to do? Well, some of these projects are exploring compliance-friendly airdrops, which might include requiring KYC verification. So they are geo-blocking users from certain jurisdictions, structuring the airdrop so it's less likely to be considered a security. So if a company is based in the US, for example, and then to avoid legal laws, they might geo-block countries from Africa or from Africa basically, or from other countries that might spell trouble for them. And so these measures with all these measures, all this scrutiny, all these legal laws, it can reduce the effectiveness of airdrops as a marketing tool, because it is a delicate balance between legal compliance and marketing impact. Can you see what is going on here, guys? So the question now is that, so what should projects and users keep in mind to avoid legal issues? Well, I would say for projects, be transparent about the purpose of the airdrop and ensure compliance with local regulations. It's essential to consult legal experts to navigate the complex landscape of crypto regulations. Okay, so for users, and so also for users, be cautious of airdrops that seem too good to be true, because scammers often use fake airdrops to steal personal information or funds. And it's always important, guys, especially if you're a newbie, always verify the legitimacy of the projects before participating, because not all free money is good. Because it's free money doesn't mean you should get it. Verify the legitimacy and be sure, or else you sign up and then your wallet has been cleared. I don't want that for anybody. So you're asking now that, okay, Olabisi, where do we go from here? Are airdrops doomed to become a relic of the early Web3 days? Well, Olabisi will say, not necessarily, because as the regulatory landscape becomes clearer, we are likely to see more sophisticated, compliant airdrop strategies emerge. So some of these possibilities include reputation-based airdrops, which means rewarding active participation rather than just token holding. We have airdrops tied to real-world identities to ensure regulatory compliance, and we'll be seeing more of learn-to-earn models where users earn tokens by learning about the project. But at the end of the day, the key will be finding a balance between regulatory compliance and maintaining the spirit of decentralization that makes Web3 unique. I think that's just the key at the end of the day. And so, guys, as we wrap up today's episode, I want us to recap what we've covered about airdrops today. I said they are a powerful marketing tool for creating awareness and building community. Secondly, I said they can kickstart a project ecosystem and token economy. Then I also said they also navigate a complex legal landscape with potential pitfalls. So whether airdrops are a marketing gold mine or a legal minefield, it often depends on how they are executed. So as with many things in the rapidly evolving Web3 space, the key is to stay informed and adaptable. So what do you think, guys? Are airdrops the future of Web3 marketing or a risky gambit? Have you ever participated in an airdrop? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And so that wraps up today's episode of the Web3 Quick Bite podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, kindly rate this podcast and also drop your comments. And if you have any feedback or questions, please reach out on social media or send an email at web3quickbites@gmail.com. See you next week. Bye.